Former Gujarat Chief Minister Keshubhai Patel passes away in Ahmedabad at the age of 92. Patel was admitted to a private hospital in Ahmedabad following difficulty in breathing. PM Modi and Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh expressed grief over the demise. PM says he was like a father figure to him and his absence is irreplaceable. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says we should assess our coronavirus fight against the metric of how many lives we are able to save. In an interview to a newspaper, PM says India will become a global manufacturing hub on its own strengths. Says AatmaNirbhar Bharat is not just about competition but also about competence. Says free food, grain and pulses to 800 million people for 8 months is a program without parallel in human history. Union Cabinet approves the extension of norms for mandatory packaging in jute materials, mechanism for procurement of ethanol by public sector oil marketing companies under ethanol blended petrol program. Also approves externally aided dam rehabilitation and improvement project phase 2 and phase 3 to improve the safety of Indian dams. Bharatiya Janata Party President JP Nadda slams Congress for premising its entire campaign around keeping Indian armed forces weak. Says they mock our armed forces, question their valor and tried every trick to ensure India does not get the latest Rafale planes. Says people of India rejected such politics and punished Congress. President Ramnath Kovind promulgates ordinance to constitute Commission for Air Quality Management in NCR and adjoining areas. The Commission will work towards better coordination and resolution of problems surrounding the Air Quality Index in NCR and adjoining areas. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in Ekta Diwas celebrations at Gujarat's Kevadia on 31st October on the occasion of birth anniversary of Sardar Patel. PM Modi to also inaugurate various projects under integrated development of Kevadia on 30th and 31st October. In international news, French President Emmanuel Macron announces that France will go back into a nationwide lockdown from the 30th of October to try to contain the rebound of COVID-19. Says new measures will mean people have to stay in their homes except to buy essential goods and seek medical attention. Hello and welcome. You're watching DD India and DD News with me, Manman Bhattacharya. Our top story. Former Gujarat Chief Minister Keshubhai Patel passed away at the age of 92 today. He was admitted in Sterling Hospital, Ahmedabad, following difficulty in breathing. President Kovind has extended condolences to his family and friends. In a tweet, he said, and I quote, "With the demise of Keshubhai Patel, former Gujarat Chief Minister, the nation has lost a stalwart leader. His long public life was dedicated to improving the lives of millions, especially in villages. As a champion of farmers' causes, he enjoyed extraordinary rapport with masses. Keshubhaiji's dogged determination for social service and commitment to the Indian ethos will remain exemplary for all. My condolences to his family and friends." PM Modi has condoled the demise of former Gujarat Chief Minister Keshubhai Patel.
केशुभाई का जाना मेरे लिए किसी पिता तुल्य के जाने की तरह है। उनका निधन मेरे लिए ऐसी क्षति है जो कभी पूरी नहीं हो पाएगी। करीब 6 दशक का सार्वजनिक जीवन और अखंड रूप से एक ही लक्ष्य, राष्ट्रभक्ति, राष्ट्रहित। केशुभाई एक विराट व्यक्तित्व के धनी थे।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given a detailed interview on a range of subjects. Let's take a look at the key highlights. He said that we should assess our coronavirus fight against the metric of how many lives we are able to save. In an interview to a newspaper, PM Modi said that India will become a global manufacturing hub on its own strengths. He said we should assess our coronavirus fight against the metric of how many lives we are able to save. Our case fatality ratio is among the lowest in the world, and the deaths per million is much lower than what we have seen in many developed nations. He said India followed a preemptive, proactive, graded whole of government and whole of society approach to tackle the pandemic. He said, I believe we should use this phase of slowing down of cases not to celebrate, but further strengthen our resolve, our behavior and our systems. Critics want to deny people the credit for their tremendous fight against COVID-19 in order to discredit the government. On reforms, the Prime Minister said free food rain and pulses to 800 million people for 8 months is a program without parallel in human history. What's been lacking in Indian farming is commensurate return for all the blood and toil put in by our farmers. The new structure brought by these reforms will significantly increase the profitability of our farmers. Labour reform will ensure timely payment of wages and give priority to the occupational safety of workers, thus contributing to a better working environment. The 4 labour codes are meant to address the welfare of labour while ensuring ease of doing business for the industry. The last 6 years have seen the spirit of competitive and cooperative federalism in all our actions. On AatmaNirbhar Bharat, the Prime Minister said that he feels the big push on investment and infrastructure will become the driving force for recovery and growth. India will become a global manufacturing hub on its own strengths. Our effort is not to become some country's alternative, but to become a country which offers unique opportunities. AatmaNirbhar Bharat is not just about competition, but also about competence. It's not about dominance, but also it's not about dependability. It's not about looking within, but about looking out for the world. A self-reliant India is also a reliable friend for the world. We will continue our reforms drive to ensure India becomes the world's most preferred investment destination. India is keen to be part of the global value chains and wants to do trade deals, but they have to be fair and non-discriminatory. Since India would be providing access to a large market, the agreements must be reciprocal and balanced. On vaccine development, the Prime Minister said we've shown the world that we have scale, sensitivity and reliability in the pharma sector, and it will only go from strength to strength from here. He said we are confident that once we have the vaccine, we can reach every person in India in a very quick time frame. On $5 trillion economy, PM said we are going by a track record in continuing reforms. People have confidence in our abilities to reach the target. Today, our country is optimistic of the future. It is optimistic of reaching the $5 trillion target. The Cabinet today met under the chairmanship of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and approved a mechanism for procurement of ethanol by public sector oil marketing companies under ethanol blended petrol program.
पहला फैसला ये हुआ कि इथेनॉल की अब नई कीमत 62 रुपये 65 पैसे लीटर होगी. एवरी लीटर इट विल बी 62 रुपीज 65 पैसे. द इथेनॉल प्रोड्यूस्ड बाय शुगर और शुगर जूस. दूसरा होता है इथेनॉल बी हेवी, उसकी प्राइस रहेगी 57 रुपीज 61 पैसा, 57 रुपये 61 पैसे. और सी हेवी की कीमत रहेगी 45 रुपये 69 पैसे.
While briefing the media in New Delhi, Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said that the government also approved the extension of norms for mandatory packaging in jute materials. 100% of the food grains and 20% of the sugar will have to be mandatorily packaged in diversified jute bags.
कि 100% खाद्यान्न, 100% खाद्यान्न के लिए पूरी बैगे जूट की आएगी और शक्कर के लिए 20% शक्कर जूट के बैग में पैक होगी. इससे जूट के खेती को, जूट के उद्योग को बढ़ावा मिलेगा, मजदूर रोजगार मिलेगा, किसानों का फायदा होगा. आज 4 लाख से ज्यादा किसान जूट के खेती में मजदूर काम करते हैं और हजारों किसानों की ये खेती है.
Union Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat has said that the government approved an externally aided dam rehabilitation and improvement project Phase 2 and Phase 3 to improve the safety and operational performance of selected 736 dams across the country.
जिन 3 विषयों के बारे में निर्णय हुआ उसमें से एक विषय बांधों की सुरक्षा और बांधों के ऑपरेशन मेंटेनेंस को लेकर के एक योजना जिसको डैम रिहेबिलिटेशन एंड इम्प्रूवमेंट प्रोग्राम फेज़ 2 एंड 3 दूसरे और तीसरे चरण की मंजूरी दी गई है। 10 साल की यह परियोजना 2 चरण में होगी जिसकी अनुमानित लागत 10,211 करोड़ रुपए होगी। दोनों ही योजनाएं 4-4 साल की हैं, लेकिन 2-2 साल का ओवरलैपिंग पीरियड इन दोनों योजनाओं में रहेगा।
Meanwhile, campaigning continues for further phases of Bihar elections. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath addressed a poll rally in Siwan's Daronda Assembly seat.
याद करिए 15 वर्ष पहले इनके जंगल राज को जब इन्होंने जाति के नाम पर परिवारवाद की राजनीति को बढ़ावा दिया और परिवारवाद के नाम पर भ्रष्टाचार को बढ़ावा देकर के बिहार में जंगल राज की स्थिति पैदा कर दी थी और बिहार के नौजवानों के सामने अपनी स्वयं की पहचान को छुपाने की एक मजबूरी सामने आ चुकी थी। भाइयों बहनों, पिछले 15 वर्षों के दौरान श्री नीतीश कुमार जी के नेतृत्व में विकास और सुशासन की जिस यात्रा को बिहार ने तय किया है, यही एक समृद्ध और खुशहाल बिहार का मार्ग प्रशस्त करता है।
He will also address rallies in Vaishali's Lalganj and Madhubani's Jhanjharpur. Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan and MP Ravi Kishan will hold public meeting in Majhopur. Union Minister of State for Home Nityanand Rai will also hold rallies in various places including Motihari, Tetaria, Pipra and Madhuban. Bihar's Deputy Chief Minister Sushil Kumar Modi will hold a roadshow from Sitamarhi Goshala to Ghoda Bazar to Kargil Chowk in the state. Let's now have a look at the VIP candidates in Phase 2 of Bihar elections. Shravan Kumar of the JDU will be up against Gunjan Patel of the Congress in Nalanda. Chandrika Roy of the JDU will be up against Chote Lal Ray of the RJD from Parsa. Chandrika Roy is the father-in-law of Tej Pratap. Nand Kishore Yadav of the BJP will be up against Praveen Singh of the Congress in Patna Sahib. Nitish Mishra of the BJP will be contesting against Ram Narayan Yadav of CPI from Jhanjharpur. Pramod Kumar of the BJP will be fighting Om Prakash Chaudhary of RJD in Motihari. Rana Randhir of the BJP will be up against Madan Prasad of the RJD in Madhuban. Tejasvi Yadav, RJD's chief ministerial candidate, will be up against Satish Kumar of BJP from Raghopur. Tej Pratap Yadav, elder son of Lalu Prasad, will be RJD's candidate against Raj Kumar Ray of the JDU. Loy Sinha of the Congress will be up against Nitin Nabin of BJP from Bankipur. Well, 31st October, the birth anniversary of Iron Man Sardar Patel is celebrated as National Ekta Diwas. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be in Kevadia at the Statue of Unity complex to pay tributes to the great leader. He will inaugurate several projects and will participate in the Ekta Diwas parade. More in this report.
To commemorate the 145th birth anniversary of Sardar Patel on the 31st of October as Rashtriya Ekta Diwas, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Kevadia in Gujarat to pay homage to the great leader at the Statue of Unity. The PM will participate in the Ekta Diwas parade and administer the Rashtriya Ekta pledge on this occasion.
सत्यनिष्ठा से
As part of the Integrated Development Program of Kevadia, the Prime Minister will launch various projects on the 30th and the 31st of October. Under these projects, Prime Minister Modi will flag off the Ekta cruise service to the Statue of Unity. He will also inaugurate the Ekta Mall and Children Nutrition Park. Prime Minister Modi will also unveil the website of the Statue of Unity in all UN official languages and will launch the Kevadia app at the Unity Glow Garden.
चिल्ड्रन न्यूट्रिशन पार्क ये लगभग 8.5 एकड़ में बना हुआ एक पार्क है। ये विश्व का पहला टेक्नोलॉजी ड्रिवन चिल्ड्रन न्यूट्रिशन पार्क है। बच्चों में ये बहुत ही लोकप्रिय होने वाला है। बच्चों को सही पोषण देश रोशन, जो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का एक थीम है पूरे देश के लिए, उस परंपरा में ये चिल्ड्रन न्यूट्रिशन पार्क, स्टैच्यू ऑफ यूनिटी जो विश्व की सबसे बड़ी प्रतिमा है, उसके सानिध्य में ये चिल्ड्रन न्यूट्रिशन पार्क अब बच्चों के लिए बड़ा ही लोकप्रिय बनने जा रहा है।
The Prime Minister will also be addressing trainees of various civil services through video conferencing as a culmination of Arambh 2020. His address is part of the Integrated Foundation course which was first launched in 2019. With Sudhakar Das in Kevadia, Bureau Report, DD News.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision for an AatmaNirbhar or self-reliant India is fast becoming reality in Kevadia. The tourist destination that has been developed around the Statue of Unity is a mini-universe for entrepreneurs from among the local communities. There are opportunities galore for those living in the vicinity to earn a living and become economically independent. Here's the story of some of these ambassadors of AatmaNirbhar Bharat.
हम भी आगे जाना चाहते हैं और हम भी आगे कुछ करना चाहते हैं। मुझे ऐसा अंदर से फील होता है कि मुझे सेल्फ डिपेंडेंट बनना है, आत्मनिर्भर बनना है।
These are the voices of the fast-moving steps towards self-reliant India. Due to the Statue of Unity and the projects related to it, the picture of Kevadia has changed, so the fate of the local people is also changing. 2 years ago, these women associated with a local self-help group working in the cafeteria of Kevadia's Arogya Forest did not have the dreams that they have today. The development happening in Kevadia is reaching their doorstep as employment.
आरोग्य वन में आके हमको अच्छा लगता है, हम एक परिवार जैसा सदस्य का अनुभव होता है हमको, और यहाँ से आने को हमको फायदा भी होता है और अच्छा लगता है। यहाँ हम दाल भात सब्जी, कढ़ी खिचड़ी और खट्टी भिंडी वाला शरबत वगैरह बनाती है।
These women, who once considered going out of their village not less than a challenge, are today writing the story of becoming self-reliant with confidence.
हमें पता चला कि यहाँ आरोग्य वन में गाइड की भर्ती हो रही है, तो हमने यहाँ पे इंटरव्यू दिया और हमें यहाँ पे जॉब मिली। तो मेरा जो सपना था कि मुझे आत्मनिर्भर बनना है, वो पूरा हुआ।
All neighbouring areas are getting the benefit of development in Kevadia. According to an estimate, over 30,000 people have got direct or indirect employment in the area. With Bimlindu Kumar Pandey and Sudhakar Das, Bureau Report, DD India. In the quest for AatmaNirbhar Bharat, Indian Army has developed a simple and secure messaging application named the Secure Application for Internet, and the application supports end-to-end secure voice, text and video calling services for Android platform over Internet. The model is similar to commercially available messaging applications like WhatsApp, Telegram, Samvad and GIMS, and utilizes end-to-end encryption messaging protocol. SAI scores over on security features with local in-house servers and coding which can be tweaked as per requirements. The application has been vetted by CERT-in impaneled auditor and Army Cyber Group. SAI will be utilized pan Army to facilitate secure messaging within the service. Raksha Mantri, after reviewing the functionalities of the app, complimented Colonel Sai Shankar for his skill and ingenuity for developing the application. President Ramnath Kovind has promulgated an ordinance to constitute a commission for air quality management in the National Capital Region and adjoining areas. The commission will work towards better coordination, research, identification and resolution of problems surrounding the air quality index in NCR and adjoining areas. It will consist of a chairperson, a representative from the Ministry of Environment, members from the state of Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, UP and Rajasthan, technical experts from Central Pollution Control Board and Indian Space Research Organisation among others. The Commission will have the powers to take all such measures, issue directions and entertain complaints in order to protect and improve the quality of air in NCR and adjoining areas. It will also lay down the parameters for emission or discharge of environmental pollutants from various sources. The Commission for Air Quality Management in NCR and adjoining areas will have at least 3 subcommittees, including on monitoring and identification, safeguarding and enforcement, and research and development to suggest measures to curb air pollution in the region. The Union government has said that the country's recovery rate among the COVID-19 patients has reached 90.99%. More than 56,000 COVID patients recovered during the last 24 hours. The total number of recoveries reached over 73,15,000. The constantly increasing recoveries have ensured that the actual caseload of the country is reduced and currently comprises only 7.51% of the total positive cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country are 6,03,000. In the last 24 hours, 49,881 new cases were reported, taking the total number of positive cases in the country so far to over 80 lakh. The ministry said effective implementation of centre's strategic and graded test, track and treat approach has led to higher recoveries and lower fatality. Currently, India's case fatality rate is at 1.5%, which is one of the lowest globally. India's average daily COVID-19 fatality is continuously decreasing since the past 6 weeks. The ministry said this is due to timely hospitalization, provision of standard care prescribed in the national treatment protocol, use of non-invasive oxygen, steroids and anticoagulants. In the last 24 hours, 517 deaths were reported, taking the toll to 1,20,527. French President Emmanuel Macron has announced a second nationwide lockdown from the 30th of October to try to contain the rebound of COVID-19. The national lockdown in France will be till at least the end of November. In an address to the nation on Wednesday, Macron said that under the new measures, people would only be allowed to leave home for essential work or medical reasons. However, schools will remain open with reinforced health measures. Also, public services will stay open. Factories, agricultural operations, building and public construction work will continue to function. The new measures will come into force from Friday. Earlier this month, Macron announced a nighttime curfew in Paris and other big cities, but officials this week acknowledged that measure had proved insufficient to bring down infection rates, requiring a more drastic response. COVID daily deaths in France are at the highest level since April. 36,437 new cases were confirmed on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Germany will impose an emergency lockdown from the 2nd of November. German Chancellor Angela Merkel has announced that month-long lockdown will include the closure of restaurants, gyms and theatres, but not schools or daycare centres. The Chancellor said the measures were necessary to avoid a national emergency. While Germany has a lower infection rate than many other parts of Europe, the speed with which the virus has been spreading in recent weeks has alarmed Berlin. Italy has registered 24,991 new coronavirus infections on Wednesday, a record high, and up from 21,994 on Tuesday, as cases in the northern region of Lombardy surged. Also, 205 COVID-related deaths reported on Wednesday as compared with 221 the day before. Nearly 38,000 people have died in Italy due to COVID-19, the second highest tally in Europe after Britain, while over 5,89,000 cases have been registered till date. The government earlier this week imposed new restrictions on the country, ordering the early closure of bars and restaurants and shutting down gyms, cinemas and theatres. That's it then in this edition of the news, but be part of Doordarshan's Mask Up India campaign, and whenever you step out of your homes, just remember to wear your masks properly with your mouth and nose covered. Stay healthy, stay fit. Thanks for watching.